For the longest time, everybody has been asking for a Call of Duty Zombies only game. This game would include a Zombies campaign and also the regular round-based Zombies mode with new updates every other month where we'd get new maps, new game modes, new weapons, etc. We do and have had round-based zombies for the longest time, so the other one missing, I suppose, is the Zombies campaign that we've been asking for, but, well, we also kind of have that. Back in Black Ops 3, Treyarch released a bonus game mode called Nightmares, where you could complete the BO3 campaign once again. However, this time it included zombies, and the story wasn't the same. They also overhauled that as well in a pretty interesting way, so they could include zombies into it. But yes, we did technically, all the way back in 2015, get a Zombies campaign from Treyarch. It wasn't perfect. I personally don't think it was very good. I'll go on to explain why later on in the video. But what this does kind of give us is a taster of what a zombies only game could be like. Would you pay £60, $70 for a Call of Duty Zombies game that included a full-length 6 to 8 hour campaign? The standard zombies mode that we have, say, on day one at launch, there are 4 maps for you to play, just like Black Ops 4 had, and then every season, every 2 months, we got a new zombies map added. And the other thing I thought of is, would there be a way of them implementing some kind of multiplayer aspect into it as well? Of course, zombies does have multiplayer. You can play solo or you can play co-op, 2, 3 or 4 players. But I mean, could they find a way of implementing a sort of 12v12 style MP game mode? Or like Outbreak in Black Ops Cold War? Imagine that, a big map with zombies roaming around. However, what would be different is we have players versus players. Instead of just one team working together, you would have, say, 4 teams of 4, and it would be a race to complete the objectives first, or see who would be the last team standing as you fight off not only against the enemy team but also the undead. There would be multiple ways you can implement a multiplayer mode, so just imagine if we had 3 of those modes: a zombies campaign, the standard zombies mode, and a multiplayer mode that included zombies. I think that would be worth the regular price that you pay for any game. And we did get a taste of what a zombies only campaign could be like all the way back during BO3. And I am willing to bet some of you watching this video, maybe people who didn't play BO3, people who only started playing COD during Cold War or Vanguard, maybe even BO4, you might not have known that Black Ops 3 had a zombies campaign in quotation marks because, well, it wasn't really great. But there are specific reasons for that, and some of them aren't to do with zombies. Now, the first thing you need to know is Nightmares, which is what this zombies campaign is called, is set in an alternate universe to the regular campaign. So if you haven't played that, it's essentially the same thing. However, just with zombies and a different story. All of the maps in Nightmares are from the campaign. Pretty much everything you see is from the campaign, besides from the zombies. And that straight away was a massive problem for Treyarch, because I don't think anyone's going to disagree with me when I say that Black Ops 3's campaign was probably the worst in the series. Yeah, to me at least, the BO3 campaign was awful. I just found it incredibly boring. The map locations that we went to, the story that was told, everything about it. And so straight away, when you've got to reuse all of that for a zombies campaign, that means if the regular campaign sucked, then the zombies campaign is going to suffer from the same things as well. Imagine if Nightmares was set during Black Ops Cold War's campaign, BO2's campaign, BO1. Imagine a zombie story being told in those campaign missions. Just because of how bad Black Ops 3's campaign was, even if everything else about Nightmares was good, it was never really going to work because the fundamentals was based off BO3's campaign. And unfortunately, it was bad. So Nightmares, whatever the zombies development team at Treyarch did, there was always going to be that underlying flaw of the regular campaign being bad, which also translates to Nightmares. Like I said, if it was Cold War's campaign, BO1, it could have been something totally different. But one area where I do think the zombies development team could have done a little bit better, once again, they were restricted in this, but I do believe it still didn't have to be as boring as it was, but that was the story that they told. Again, just so you understand, because Nightmares is the regular campaign, that also means everything that happens in it, in each and every map and location, every scripted event, every character, every bit of dialogue, that all came from the regular campaign as well. Obviously, if you implemented that straight into Nightmares, because the BO3 campaign takes place in the future, we see stuff like robots, our characters would be saying things totally unrelated to zombies. So a clever thing that Treyarch did was they totally made the characters silent. As you're playing through the campaign, as you can see from the gameplay, people like Hendrix, you'll see their mouth move, however, you won't hear them. And a clever thing that Treyarch did was they muted all of the sound besides from the gameplay, and instead, something unique to Nightmares was that they narrated the story, and this was really the only way that Treyarch could get away with it. You have to remember that Nightmares was a bonus mode. Treyarch didn't have the time, resources, or money to completely create their own campaign from the ground up. So similar to how they do in regular zombies now, they had to take everything that the campaign and multiplayer team made and work with what they were given. The story that Treyarch told here wasn't very interesting in my opinion. It was narrated by a female player, which, by the way, that's her actual name. If you just look on the wiki, the player is actually a character in BO3 whose name is never revealed, so we don't know the name of who is narrating Nightmares. However, we learn that the player is stuck in a void between life and death, and it is Dr. Salim who is in contact with the player via interfacing with the DNA cognition. Pretty much, the whole Nightmares campaign follows the player as she recounts the events that led to the outbreak of the undead. I'm pretty sure I've done a whole explanation of the Nightmares campaign before. If I have, I will link it down in the description. If I haven't, then I don't want to do it because it's not very good. But going full circle, this was another thing that wasn't really the Zombies development team at Treyarch's fault. Yes, I do think maybe they could have made it a little bit more interesting, but they were working off the resources they were given from the campaign team. And again, if the campaign wasn't good, then this alternate version of that with zombies wasn't going to be good either. At the end of the day, you can only do so much with a storyline if you've got to keep all of the same assets, and the only thing you can really do is mute those original voice lines and narrate over it. Trying to tell your own storyline with characters that aren't yours, with maps that aren't yours, and items and assets that aren't yours, I can imagine is very difficult. But the Zombies team did manage to include some of their own things that we are more familiar with in Zombies. It includes power-ups which look different to what we usually see. Nightmares also has a mystery box. Instead of purchasing weapons off the wall in Nightmares, you would pick them up off the ground as drops. The only things that were really missing, which I would have liked, were the perk machines and the gobblegums. I don't know how hard it would have been to include at least perks. And talking about unique things, another one of those was the ability to boost jump or wall run. That wasn't something new to BO3, but it was something new to Zombies. You could wall run in specific BO3 Zombies maps like Rise and Draka, but you couldn't boost jump like you could in the campaign and multiplayer. And you could do that in Nightmares, which gave it a different, I guess, feel or gameplay style to what we're used to in Zombies. In Treyarch's games anyway, we could do that in Sledgehammer's version, Advanced Warfare, in Exo Zombies, but we've never been able to do it in any Treyarch Zombies games besides from this one, so that was something unique about it. And finally, it wouldn't be Zombies if there weren't Easter eggs. The collectibles that you found in Nightmares were in the same locations that you found them in the campaign. However, the appearance in Nightmares, they would show up as something we are more familiar with, which were teddy bears. And after collecting a set amount of these teddies in each map, a musically track would then begin to play from our regular Zombies maps, such as the Varrock song or the Ascension song, the Transit song. Going back and thinking about it now, Black Ops 3 had so much content when it came to Zombies. Not only did we have the regular maps, we also had Zombies Chronicles, but we also had this Nightmares Zombies campaign. And even though it wasn't good, a lot of that wasn't down to the Zombies team. Nightmares was only ever supposed to be a bonus mode, so because the regular campaign was bad, that translated to this. But what it did give us is a taster of what could be. I think Treyarch totally could make a Zombies only campaign, and to me, this is evidence of this. They were able to tell their own story, even though they were very limited. This is something they could very easily do given the time, money, and resources. And now that Xbox are taking over Activision, this does make me wonder, in the future, could this be possible? Could we get a Zombies only game with a Zombies campaign, regular round-based Zombies maps, and some implementation of a multiplayer style mode as well? It makes you wonder. So there we go. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. As always, hopefully you have enjoyed today's video. If you have, drop a like rating. Make sure you are subscribed to stay up to date with the latest videos on the channel. And as always, I'll see you in the next one. Until then, goodbye.